Have you ever had a casual conversation that flips your world upside down? Let's talk about how one moment, one simple conversation can spark massive change. In today's episode, we're exploring the power of an unexpected dialogue. Stick around to find out how these small moments can lead to big transformation in your life. So, Rose, what do you think?
So there was a conversation that I had, I believe, with you, and it centered around the idea of can we have multiple emotions existing at the same time? And so the question became, do we have to see life in a or, something or that, or as opposed to something? And for me, that was transformational because I know that I can only speak for myself, but I experience multiple emotions simultaneously. And the idea that one has to be more important than the other or one can only exist is really not accurate. So you can be joyful about something, some news you heard, and sad about something else you heard. Or you could be having something great is happening in your life, but then something sad is happening on the other part of your life or with somebody you care about. So I think that that was transformation because I think that we try so hard to have one emotion, to feel that we're always supposed to be happy or we're always supposed to be what. And the idea that you actually exist in all of those venues at the same time. How it was transformational is clearly I create space to have it all, right? And the idea that I can experience it all means that is really a human experience. For me, that was life altering. It's interesting because clearly I've been doing it for years, but there was something about speaking it out and understanding that our lives are on an everyday basis a process of and.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sad and disappointed. I'm elated and hurt. And that's really the way we live our lives on a day-to-day basis. And I think that we set ourselves up for disappointment or for criticism when we feel we can only have one.
Yeah. For me, I think one of the conversations that I remember was early in my career, and another manager asked me, what do I want in my career? And I said, I want to be successful. Then he said, what does that mean? I was really young. I didn't know what successful meant. And that conversation, I think, started me down the path of trying to really understand, how do I define success? Because a lot of times when we look externally, people define success with money, they define it with titles, they define it on how much stuff they have.
Mhm.
And as I worked through that, like mentally working through, like, how do I really define success? I think the place where I landed was I define success by living a life I love. And what's living a life I love? I have freedom to do things I love. I get to teach, I get to create, I get to have great conversations. And for me, I think that the power of the conversations that you noodle them for a really long period of time and you just don't come up with the direct answer makes a huge difference. But why do you think these small comments or questions have so much power?
I think because we're not expecting them,
Mm,
right? So in an everyday conversation, it's not planned, it's organic. And depending on how the conversation flows, a question is posed to you. You're not looking for it, you didn't anticipate it. Oftentimes, I find that those questions gut punch you in a way, because you couldn't prepare for them. I think also it's because the person is seeing something in you, they're curious about something, and it's usually something that becomes very personal. But I think what it is that at the heart, it is unexpected.
yeah. I think there's something powerful, even when you and I are coaching, about a question that's asked that's that
Mhm.
powerful. Like you weren't thinking in that direction, and all of a sudden
Right.
that question just opens up a huge doorway for you.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, let's give some practical takeaways for the people who are watching today
Mhm.
and some ideas that they can dive right into. The first one, of
Mhm.
course, is our signature journal prompt. So
Right.
grab a piece of paper and just write the answer to this question. who have I had conversations with that really make me think about myself and where I want to be in the future? So, taking the time to write down answers and then reflect on them can help us really understand the question that's being asked, but also what our answers are, which I think is very powerful. The next exercise is ask, listen, and reflect. So identify one person, maybe a friend or a colleague, or even a coach who you trust to give you honest input. And then ask them something like, what's something that makes me light up? When I talk about it, what's something that really lights me up? Or what strengths do you see in me that I might be overlooking? And then really listen to it and listen to their feedback. Don't brush it off because sometimes we have a tendency that says, oh, that person loves me, so they're telling me the nice things. I think that has to do with our internal dialogue. And then I suggest that they reflect on it. Take a time, reflect on it, maybe journal about it.
Yeah, I definitely concur.
Awesome. So, how do we wrap up our conversation today, Rose?
So I think that for me, the takeaway is to value those conversations, those off the wall conversations, or just conversations in general, and value any questions that come and really allow yourself to marinate with the question, reflect on it, and see what is asking of you.
Mm, I love that. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope this inspires you to look at everyday conversations with fresh eyes. Don't forget to like and subscribe and try the creative exercises. We'll see you next time.